Hello, Cooper here, Director of Marketing at JP Woman Realty. And maybe it's because of some of the conversations I've been having lately with agents. Maybe it's because it's Friday and I'm wearing a shirt covered in pineapples. But I think it's time for a lot of agents to start thinking a little bit bigger picture, thinking about how things are going. It's been a tough year for a lot of agents. I was meeting with Matt and Riley from the Pomerleau team last week. We were doing a lead and conversion analysis for the Pomerleau team, and both Matt and Riley are talking about how they're telling me that it's been the hardest year, 2021, that they've ever seen in their careers to buy and convert leads. And this is coming from the Pomerleau team, which is like a stalwart pillar of the Northwestern Twin Cities real estate market. A lot of their traditional sources of leads are down, and they're finding that it's been harder to convert a lot of leads across the board. Luckily, the Pomerleau team is actually doing amazing this year because they have so many lead sources that they've been able to shift their focus. And interestingly enough, Google Local Service Ads, which we've talked about in quite a few videos, is actually their number one lead source right now. But most of us don't have the pleasure of being on the Pomerleau team. Most of us don't have, expert marketing and salesmen behind us who are driving our strategies for our business. And that's why a lot of the agents I've been talking to lately have, they're having tough years, they're having slow years. And we all know the market dynamics that are driving those things. But I wanted to share with you a little bit about what I've been seeing, what are the patterns in terms of what agents are actually doing and what sets an agent that's having a record year apart from an agent that is really having a slow year and struggling. So here's what I've seen across the brokerage so far in 2021. This is looking at our data across all agents. We collect quite a bit of marketing activity data as well as business activity data from agents, and also just what I've been hearing from coaching agents one-on-one. We have a ton of agents having record years, right? Talking about some of the toughest market conditions in recent real estate memory, and agents are still having record years. A lot of them are. We have brand new agents who are licensed in the last year that already have multiple transactions, a handful of transactions under their belt within their first year of business, and that's in one of the hardest markets. So it is possible. We also have some super talented, experienced agents that have great spheres and great strategies that are having some of their slowest years in the last decade. And here's the difference that I see between those two groups of agents. It's your ability to pivot, to change your business strategy when the circumstances around your business, as we all know, have changed in the last year and a half. So when I look across all the agents in our brokerage, we have spreadsheets. I sort by closed transactions in 2021. And there's a big pattern that I see that's common among the agents that have the most closed transactions so far this year. It's their willingness and ability to try new things, to innovate, to pivot. A lot of those agents, like I said, they're having record years in their business. They're also mostly the agents that actually were picking up momentum in 2020, a year when a lot of agents we actually saw lose momentum. But it's that 2020 momentum that's carrying them into 2021. A lot of your work as a real estate agent, especially if you're working with your sphere, you're working a year or two out. You're working for referrals. You're working for someone who has no desire right now to buy and sell, but will in a few years. You're working on those people years out. So if 2020 was a slow year where you lost momentum, you're probably behind the ball already in 2021. Now, the agents that are having their best years ever, that are having record years, whether they're a brand new agent or a more experienced agent, they put new plans in place in 2020. They pivoted their strategies based on what was happening in the market. How did they know what to do? They spent the last year and a half meeting one-on-one with our coaches, with me, with Brian, with Ben, with Champ, attending our webinars, or marketing our agent mastery webinars, asking questions specifically about how those things apply to their businesses, and then taking action, executing on new strategies like every week. The agents that are succeeding are working their butts off. They're sending mailers to their neighborhoods. People they don't even like, they're sending mailers to them. They're creating new farming strategies. They're coming up with sphere marketing ideas and executing on all of them. They're trying new things and not being afraid to fail. Now, the agents that are struggling, the agents that struggled through 2020, through COVID, struggled to adapt and to pivot. a lot of these agents, I hear them, they come up with really good ideas. But after they come up with a good idea, they come up with a dozen reasons why it's too hard or why it won't work. So I want to talk a little bit about the way we think about struggle. There's two types of struggling. And let's be honest, a lot of us have struggled in the last year and a half as real estate agents. First type of struggle is where your circumstances are tough. You start to lose some faith and you put your head in your hands and you say, I can't do it, it's too hard. You give up. A lot of times you don't give up like by going and walking away. It's not a grand event. You give up a little bit at a time in your head. You give up when you come up with reasons not to try new things. You come up with reasons why things won't work. You're giving up in your head, and that's where giving up starts. That's the first kind of struggle. There's a second type of struggle, and when I was thinking about this, it reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones where Indiana Jones is exhausted. He's fist fought his way through a ton of bad guys in some market somewhere, and he's just about to exit the market, and this huge guy that's like twice his size with a huge 3-foot long sword comes up and he wants to fight Indiana Jones. And you see Indiana Jones kind of go, and he drops his head like he's going to give up, but he's actually thinking about a strategy. And what he does is he just pulls out his gun and shoots the guy. But that reminds me of the second type of struggle where the circumstances are tough. You're exhausted. You've been beat up, But what you do instead of giving up is you reach out and wrestle with your circumstances. You come up with an innovative solution for your problem and you execute that solution. And the reality is the more you do that, the more you wrestle with your problems and with your circumstances and come up with just new ideas and try them, the better you get at those things, the stronger you get. And eventually you'll be able to overcome more circumstances like COVID. So let's just be honest. It's been a tough year. For real estate, it's been a tough year for a lot of realtors. It has sucked for a lot of you. But here's what you can do. Ask for help. When you're stuck, when you start giving up in your brain, ask for help. We've got a ton of staff members. I listed them before. If you just go to meet.jpwoman.com, you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with any of us. You can watch our videos, sign up for our webinars, attend those things, ask specific questions so you know how to apply our advice to your specific business circumstance. We'll help you identify the new things that you should do, the new things you should try to get momentum back into your business. And then when you get that advice, take action. A lot of agents get a lot of advice, don't take a lot of action. So I wish you the best of luck. Get in touch and let's start innovating and pivoting your business so that you can succeed in 2021. Thank you. Bye.